Hello, 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 people. What's going on tonight? Huh? It's Thursday night. Benefits Milo edition. Thursdays. It's the night. Hello, Cliff. It's the night. What night is that? It's the night for the show. It's also my Friday. Ooh, my Friday. I got 3 whole days to not get anything done that I want to get done. Why? Just the way it works, man. Just the way it works. What? I'll tell you, one of the biggest time killers is back. It's back. Some people, Craig, you know who you are not paying attention to this time killer, and I kind of applaud that. But it's going to catch you, going to bite you. What is it? Yard work, mowing, or maybe you ride. Maybe you do one of these, run, 0 turns. But it is the project killer. It beats procrastination. Keeping up your yard, mowing it, weeding it, spraying it, trimming it, clipping it, throwing it over the bank, all that stuff. It's just a time killer. It's just a time killer. I've talked about this before on the show, but it's here. It's back. And of course, with that comes warmer weather. So anyway, all right. If you're watching this live, thank you very much. Jump in the chat, leave me a comment, like, subscribe to the channel, turn your bell on so that when I go live or I put out a new podcast or a cooking video, you'll know about it. Don't want to miss out. Lots of lessons to be learned. Good lessons, bad lessons. You got to learn them. Good or bad, you got to learn them. So anyway, there's Roberto. What's going on, fellas? Roberto ought to be tipping up a few of the cold adult beverages this evening. Why? Because tomorrow it's going to be a long day for little Roberto. Little Roberto. It's going to be a long day. I'm sorry. I have mowed part of my yard. Clell's another Craig. Craig won't mow it till it's like tickling the backs of his calves, and wild onions are hooping and hollering and carrying on all across the yard. Then he'll just mow them down like a machine gun's nest. Well, you call me anything you want to, just don't call me late for supper. That's what somebody ought to name their kid. Not Moonshine or Petal Leaf or, Luna. Oh, sorry. Ron, if you're watching this, Luna's a good name. Yeah, Luna's a good name. Let's call people, what did I say I would call them? Late for supper. That's right. First name would be late. Middle name for supper. Late for supper. That would be a cool name. They never live it down. The Eclipse is coming. I didn't know about it till the other day. Why? I don't pay attention to this stuff. My boss man come in and said, "Hey, do your show on the Eclipse fear. I don't know what you call it. Fear mongering, something." I said, "What are you talking about?" Oh, everybody's all up in arms about the eclipse. It's going to be the end of the world. It's going to be the rapture. God's second coming to the world. Schools are closing. The dogs and cats are sleeping together. Everything's going to happen April the 8th. I said, what? So we started looking it up, and there is lots of schools closing. All right, we'll look at that. Why are the schools closing? One of the guys at work said if the wind blows hard, they close school. I don't know. Making our kids soft. That's why. My kid, he walked to school. Had long hair down to his shoulders. he'd walk to school in the wintertime with a wet head, and I just like, what are you doing? Why? What, your hair's going to freeze before you ever get to school. He just out the door he'd go on. So, maybe I was making him too soft. It was like, give me them shoes. Don't go out here with the wet head in the middle of the snow. Just give me them shoes and run to school. Maybe you won't get frostbite. Robert's going to eat some weeds and lay in his asparagus bed. No, I did weed eat my asparagus. Oh, you've got an asparagus bed? Huh, that's interesting. Why do you grow asparagus in your bed? Why? Why would you do that? They're fun to lay on. I thought they were spears. Wouldn't they be kind of prickly? Back to the eclipse. Enough of making fun of poor old Roberto. All right, so, as most of my things in the show, we're going to look at some stuff on the internet. We might even look at some stuff on the old nice Wikipedia. Maybe. It's comfy and delicious, he says. Well, good. We might even look at some stuff on NASA. Right? What is an eclipse? Let's just start really with the basics. What is the eclipse? Well, it's when the sun comes around and melts the dark side of the moon. That's exactly what happens. A solar eclipse, okay. Not just an eclipse. All right, the moon's going to put its head between the earth and the sun. All right, that's why I said he's just going to bake. Man, he's just going to jump right in there and bake the dark side of the moon. That's what's going to happen. Now, I think, well, look at this. I think solar eclipse is about the only time that side of the moon gets sunshine. I might be wrong. Very seldom am I right. So, maybe this is a time that I'll be right. Probably not, but we can cross our fingers and hope. So, solar eclipse, it's when the sun gets in between the sun, when the moon gets in between the sun and the earth. And if it's a total eclipse, if you're in the spot where the moon and the sun and everything align perfectly, then the moon covers up the exact sun, and the only thing that you can see are the fringe parts, the solar flares and the eruptions, and that's what makes it cool for everybody. Now, if you're not in the spot where it's going to be a total eclipse, then you might get like a 99% eclipse or an 89% eclipse or a half eclipse or something. So it might just be like a cloudy day. And if you went outside and didn't know you were having an eclipse, you might think, well, there's not a cloud in the sky. Why does it just seem so dim? It's kind of funky. So now, I think I know I have seen at least one total eclipse. And then I have seen some other partials. But you got to be lined up perfect. Let's see. Robert's still on his asparagus spears that makes his pee smell weird. Or are you talking about the solar eclipse makes your pee smell weird? Maybe it's both. I don't know. Robert, I have only seen one eclipse in my life. I saw one that I remember. That was back in the 80s, maybe 86. I don't know. Maybe. We'll look at the history. But that's what a solar eclipse is. Now, there is a lunar eclipse. And that's when the Earth gets between the sun and the moon. So, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But this is one everything revolves around. So, ancient times, people studied the solar spheres and all that kind of stuff. This is what they marked, when the was a special time because it was bright and it would just slowly come in and it would just get dark and then boom, you couldn't see anything but the outer part of the sun and it make you go blind because the only thing you're getting, I mean, if you look at the sun, it hurts your eyes anyway. But see, it's going to be dark, but you're still going to get all this, radiation and stuff from the outer part, which is like the hottest part of the sun. And you're just going to be able to look at it because it's not so bright. It doesn't hurt your eyes, but inside it's killing your eyes. That's why you have to look with special glasses. I don't even know if a welding helmet is safe. All right? So what we did, I think, when I was a kid, you would turn your back to the sun and you would, well, I think we built had a cardboard box. And you cut a hole in the box, and then you aligned it, and as the moon passed in front of the sun, you could watch the eclipse happen inside the box. And so you were not seeing it in a mirror reflection. You were seeing it happen on the cardboard on the other side. Maybe we can look at that and see. Lots of things to look at. But is the world going to come to an end? Lots of schools are closing. Lots of people are boarding up their windows. All this kind of crazy stuff's going on. And there's some people out there predicting that, it's going to pass over these cities of Nineveh, which is a biblical reference. And there's an X across the United States from when 2007 eclipse happened. And now the 2024 eclipse is going to happen. And that marks the dead zone spot, and all this other kind of stuff. So, just going to be another day. It's going to get dim in the sky. It's only going to last 2 or 3 minutes, and then we're going to go on about our business. So, let me put my eyeballs on. Ooh, wow. Well, top chat. Why do I? Let's just live chat. Let's just see everybody's message. Bad omen, bad mojo, bad booju, all that stuff. Yep. All that's supposed to happen. Rapture, no. Dark side of the moon be facing the sun. Let's see. No, what's that? Total eclipses in the United States. Okay. So, something happened to my frames due to encoding lag here. Let me reset that and see what's going on there. Wow. It's going bonkers. It must be these ads again. Let's do this. What does that do to it? Man, let's kill this guy and see what happens. Did that help? No, that didn't help. 98%. 80, 70. What are these people doing to me? Let's refresh some of these. It wasn't that bad before. Oh. Let's just redo all this. 45%. See, this is what I thought happened last time, wasn't it? The feed started going crazy and it was some kind of stupid ad on these websites that was sending it into oblivion. So maybe if we refresh all these things, boom, boom. No, it is freaking out. Freaking out. There was people on the radio saying you better go out and get your food. Go out and get your food. Go out and get your food. All that stuff, man. All that stuff was going bonkers. 29%. We're in the red. You went out and bought some toilet paper. Well, you had. I mean, when that stuff happens, if you don't go out and get your own toilet paper, there won't be any to be had. So, yeah, real pain in the tuchus. You have to wipe a corn cob. All right, let's see. Where it happened to my history. I think I closed it. Oh my gosh. Where'd it go? All right, let's just open. Solar eclipse history. Time and date. NASA eclipse. Okay, let's see if NASA doesn't freak out my stuff here. I don't know why it decided all of a sudden that that was going to be the deal. It was going to freak out my stream. Okay, let's get down here. We don't want BCs, man. Just get us like in the 20th century here. All right, so let's look at this. What's my stuff doing? It's not too bad. Well, it is bad. It's still in the red. But let's try this. Window capture, NASA, okay. Let's do that. Bring me up to there. Boom, look at that. There we go. All right. We are just in the yellow now. Okay, so this is history of eclipses on NASA's website. So this is, I'm going to start, I don't know, can you see my little marker? There we go. All right. We're going to start down here. 1800s, Zulu war eclipse. All right, 1887 was a total eclipse. Eclipse from 11,500 feet. 1912, April 17th was a hybrid. We'll have to look up, let's see what annular is. There's two different, there's a total and an annular, and then a lunar. All right, annular solar eclipse. So battle. Let's look that up real quick, just so we'll know what it is. Annular versus total eclipse. The difference between the total and annular solar eclipses has to do with the varying distance of the moon from the Earth. During a total eclipse, the sun and moon are roughly the same size, but in an annular eclipse, the moon is smaller and a ring of the sun is visible. When the moon is closer to the Earth, it appears bigger and can block more of the sun's light, resulting in a total solar eclipse. When the moon's orbit is further from the Earth, it does not completely obscure the sun, thus an annular eclipse occurs. So, what's the picture show us? Show me the pictures. Oh, geez. What is it? Here we go. So I don't know what is that, a solar complete? Whatever. Okay. So, where were we? Hybrid. 1912 was a hybrid eclipse. It's called the Titanic eclipse. Okay. So then May 29th, 1919, Einstein's eclipse. Then in 1922, general relativity reconfirmed. I don't know. 1925 was a total. New York City's winter morning eclipse. See, they seem to be happening. I didn't think they happened super close like this. I thought they were like every 50 years or some kind of crazy something like that. But if you look at this, there's, okay, let's start at 1912, 1919, 1922, 1925, 1932, 1963, 1970, 73, 79, 91, 27, and 2014. So they happen a lot more than what I thought. I didn't realize they would be that quick. So they've all been total eclipses. Now what's strange is, according to another source that I read, and I'll look at this in a minute, there was an annular eclipse somewhere between 2017 and 2024. I think there was an annular one in 2019. And I looked up the paths, because that was one of the things they were predicting. Oh, this is going to cross here, and this is an indication of where the ground's going to get sucked in, and the devil's going to come popping out. So I don't know, but they happen a lot quicker than what I was thinking. Yep, Clell, that's what happened to it. It got smashed up in the total eclipse of 1912, April 17th. I wonder why they call it a hybrid. I don't know. April 17th. Can you see this? Let me do this. See my little pointer? This little piece right here? You might not be able to see it. This is the one, 1912, April 17th, hybrid. This is the Titanic eclipse. It lasted 2 seconds. Now, this is what that column is right here. So the eclipse in 1919 lasted 6 minutes 51 seconds. The total eclipse coming up in April is going to last 4 minutes and 28 seconds. So I don't know why. I don't follow what makes things in the world go round, but they do. A lot of people do. Okay, so that's kind of the history. Now, see, back in here, it goes back to, and I know people weren't necessarily writing all this stuff down, but in, let's see, what was see, back in here, 2136 October 22nd was 2137 BCE. Ho and Hai, the drunk astronomers. Right, there was an annular eclipse. So this is like, they're just predicting that, or getting it where it was written down. All right. So 7 signs of the rapture. Now, I looked this up because I was just wondering, was this what people were talking about? Were they talking about, it being one of the 7 signs of the end of the world? So I looked that up, and let's see what the Bible.org says. Rapture, signs of his coming, part 1, 7 signs. Can we not just list them? The first sign, Israel. Lord is here. Just give me a list. Sign 1, Israel. Man. Come on. This isn't easy. Make it easy on me. Second sign, profusion of war. Famines. Earthquakes. Iniquity. Come with me further down through our passage and notice that we say, please, in verse 12, and it says, and because iniquities shall abound, the love of many shall grow cold, but that he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And the word for iniquity here is the word for lawlessness. It is the opposite of righteousness. The Lord predicts that iniquity or lawlessness will abound. It will increase, it will grow, it will increase and grow to such proportion that he says the love of many shall grow cold. 6th sign, gospel spread. And then seventh sign, economy. One of the last ones comes from the book of Revelations, where we read chapter 13, the economy of the world, and that there will be severely strictly controlled economy. Tell us that during the tribulation period, when men will be able to neither buy nor sell without the mark of the beast, that suggests the most stringent controls on the world economy that the world has ever seen. Conclusion. They did not make it easy. I was hoping they would just list it. Why can't they just list it? Give me a break, would you? Just list it. Tell me what the 7 signs are. Rapture forums. Wow. What are the 7 signs? Let's look. I just want to see if there's anything in here about the sun and the moon. Because this guy, one place says that the God sends messages to us through the sun and the moon. Oh my gosh, free kitty food. Print this page. No. 7 stars, 7 horns, 7 seals, 7 trumpets. Is that the same thing as horns? 7 thunders, 7 bowls. 7 signs. Wow. Okay. Not just going to list them, are they? Not going to make it easy. But where is it? Nope, it's not there. So this is the question I had before. Will the dark side of the moon be facing the sun during the 2024 eclipse? So the answer is yes. The dark side of the moon will be facing the sun during the 2024 eclipse. The far side of the moon gets sun, especially during the new moon phase, as the side of facing us doesn't receive any direct sunlight. During the total solar eclipse that's to come, the far side will be completely bathed in the sun as the moon blocks the sun from the Earth's view. The dark center of the moon's shadow, the part where the sun is completely blocked, is never more than about 160 miles wide by the time it reaches Earth. So, the side that normally always gets sun will not have sun, and the side that normally doesn't get sun will be fully bathed. So one side's going to turn completely cold, the other side's going to be warmed up. It's going to melt the dark side of the moon. So, is that going to affect tides and all that stuff? No. No, I predict it will not. Listen, it will not. But that's interesting, I think, that the side that doesn't normally get the sun will get it. What does it say? Yeah. Fact check. Now this is where this kind of started, and this dude on TikTok put this out there. All right, so see, this is where the 2017, this was the path of the total eclipse, and this is the path of 2024. Okay, so what he was talking about, that there were going to be 7 cities that were going to be in the path of the 2024 eclipse, named Nineveh, or Nineveh, and that is the town. I read about it, that Jonah went to save and said, if y'all don't repent, God is going to kill the city, be done with it. And he didn't want to go, and so that's when Jonah got swallowed by the whale, and then he asked God to forgive him, so the whale spat him out. Then he went to Nineveh and said, you guys need to repent and ask forgiveness, or God's going to strike your city down and kill all of you. And so at that point, when he was talking to them about repenting, there came an eclipse. During that time, when he was there telling them, you better repent or God's going to kill you. There was a total eclipse of the sun, and that frightened them enough. They all laid down and said, forgiveness, we're sorry, and God spared the city. Let's see. Robert says revelations are scary. He says, just focus on the last 4 signs, the 4 horsemen, the end, until Jesus trumpets. It's all happening now. JK. Could be. What's JK, Robert? Just kidding. Okay. Interested in the money per month on the internet. What? Why is Clell interested in the money per month on $9 per month on? Oh, you want to see the ad? All you have to do is just be a senior. That's all you have to do is be a senior. All right. So supposedly the 24 eclipse is going to pass over 9 cities. What did I say? 7 cities. That's called Nineveh. So is that true? We'll look at that. So he lists them. All right. And then he talked about down here. What was the other thing he talked about? I think this may not have been the one he talked about with the Corpus Christi. I don't think this is the one he talked about, Corpus Christi. But what they found out is that there was only going to be 2. These 2 cities named Nineveh, Indiana, and Nineveh, Ohio, are the only ones that are going to be exactly in the path. This little dark stripe indicates where the total eclipse will be viewable across the United States. Now, all these other dots are the dots that are cities named Nineveh, but they are not in the path, direct path of the eclipse. This is Nineveh, Nova Scotia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thought there was supposed to be 7 or 9. 2, 4, 6, 8. So, see, that's not true. Than what he was talking about on TikTok. So he says here are in 2017 eclipse there were right here 2024. That's the path it's going to be making. It's going to be making an X over the United States. 2017 was 7 years ago, and the next one was 7 years later, which is going to be in a month. You'll know the number 7 always pops up in the Bible, but it just so happens that in 2024 it's going to be going through some towns named Nineveh. Nineveh, Texas, Missouri, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, New York, and Nova Scotia, which is not true. So this is the dude that was doing it. This is where he's talking about the X. Two of the new places are actually going to be in it. So there was another place, another prediction, and it was on Reddit. And this is a very long post on Reddit. Okay, so I've got an itchy eyeball for some reason. It doesn't want to read. That's it. This is the one. This guy goes into a lot of detail. All right, so this is the one talks about how God will use the solar, the moon and the sun to talk to us. So he said, he quotes the Bible here, Genesis 1:14. Then God said, "Let there be light in the expanse of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." And then Luke 21:25, there will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity at the roaring and tossing of the seas. So he's quoting the Bible, showing that God is supposed to use the sun, the moon, and the stars to communicate with the people on earth. With the path of the last eclipse combined with the first two eclipses, one in 2017 and the other in 2023, it will create a Hebrew letter over America that is the Alpha Tav, and in the Greek it is the Alpha and the Omega. Both means the beginning of the end. And he says God in Revelation 21:6 that he is beginning and the end, and that he is the Alpha Tav. He is like his signature. He goes these straight. I did a thing on numerology, a show on numerology, how you take all these things and twist them around and make the numbers, read what you want it to read. And this is what this guy sounds like he's doing, except with the Bible, trying to pick out certain pieces and taking them maybe potentially out of context and plugging them in where he wants to plug them in for it to fit his description of what's supposed to be going on. So he talks about Nineveh, and let's see where he tells the story of Jonah. Okay. So this is the story of the Nineveh and Jonah. God told Jonah to go to the wicked nation of Nineveh and warn them about the coming judgment. Jonah ran away from his assignment, and while he was at sea, God had him swallowed by a whale and was in the whale for 3 days. Jonah repented of running away, so the whale spat him out. He then went to Nineveh and warned the people, but there was something that was also happening while he was warning the people. An eclipse came over the land. In the 19th century, ancient tablets were discovered that describes an eclipse called the Bersagle eclipse, where the totality of the eclipse landed right over Nineveh while Jonah was there preaching of the 40-day warning before the coming destruction. Because of this, the people realized that this was a sign from God and that Jonah was saying was true, and they repented, and God spared their nation. So he also says there's the eclipse on April 8th is going to go over 7 cities named Nineveh. No. All right. So the first part of the 3-part eclipse series was in 2017. The path of the eclipse went over 7 cities named Salem. Salem is the short for Jerusalem. So he's trying to piece together an eclipse that happened in 2017, an eclipse that's going to happen in 2024, to say both of these are putting together more signs. Yeah, Clell says that folks do a lot of that with the Bible, taking parts that they want and misuse them. The winners write the history over and over. So he says in 2017, that eclipse passed over 7 Salems, which I don't know if it was true or not. But the part that I know I don't think is true, and I know NASA will back me up on this. It says down here, perhaps the most striking piece of the second eclipse is that the precise center of the eclipse path exits the U.S. directly over Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi means the body of Christ and is one of the only towns named that in the world. Okay, so in this whole rigmarole, he talks about the 2017 and the 2024 eclipse. So NASA, I looked this up, in 2017, this is the path that it took. The eclipse in 2017 followed this path, which comes nowhere close to Corpus Christi, which is right here. This is the path that the 2024 is going to take. Nowhere close to Corpus Christi. The one thing that I did find out is that in I think if this shows it, there was a total eclipse in 2017 that was here. In 2021, there was an annular eclipse that went this way. This one does. The one that was in 2021 did cross right over Corpus Christi. But that's not what that guy was saying. He was saying it was the 2017 one that passed over. And then this is the one that's coming up. Now, this may be the sign that he was talking about, the omega, the alpha, or whatever he was talking about over here, where it makes the sign across the United States. The alpha tav. He doesn't show what that means. Let's just see what Greek symbol for alpha omega is. Let's see if it shows it. Greek symbol for that. Alrighty. So A over the resistance sign. What was that other thing he talked about? Tab. Let's copy that. Let's just plug that in and see what that shows us. Anything? Images. No, so now this one is pretty close here. Paleo Hebrew, that's pretty close to, if you spin it around, that's pretty close to that. See how it kind of makes this A laying on its side. Here's kind of the A laying on its side. So with the path of the last eclipse combined with the first two eclipses, one in 2017 and another one in 2023, well, NASA shows that it didn't happen in 2023. Let's see, or this one shows, this one was eclipse 2017-24, short span of 7 years north interference. Path of total eclipse 17 and 24, and the annular eclipses of 21 and 23. Okay. So 21 and 23 must be this. I wish I could zoom in on this thing here. Let me open that in a new page. Can I zoom in on it now? Let me zoom. Let me zoom. Hang on you. I can't read the words. Cannot read those words. I am incapable of reading those words. So, this is what this one guy was talking about in Reddit, I'm pretty sure. Where all three eclipses make this sign across the United States. Let's see if we just clicked on that and follow it. Okay. Oh, can't find the page we were looking for. 2023-14 overview. I don't understand all this. Pretty stuff. Pretty stuff. Okay, so here's the path. Path of the annularity across the United States. This map available in two sizes. So it goes across, I think, Corpus Christi down here. Where's Corpus Christi? There's Houston. Alright, so Corpus Christi is right there. Right here in this section. Right there. So this one, path of the annular solar eclipse, did go across Corpus Christi. And that's what he was saying over here. Corpus Christi is known as, or translates into the body of Christ. And there's only, and is one of the only towns named that in the world. doing a lot of searching, doing a lot of digging to make all this come together. So he's talking about 7 every 7 years, how the 7 comes into the Bible a lot. So he's predicting, this is a sign that, God's going to smite the earth and bring it down. So is that why the schools are closing? Are the schools afraid that this might be some kind of tragic event that's getting ready to happen? So let's see. Where did we find that? That's why there's so many emergency warnings of this year's total solar eclipse. Well, there's Kermit the Frog. During the 2024 eclipse, the sun will be in or near solar maximum, when the magnetic field is more like a tangible hairball. Streamers will likely be visible through the corona. In addition to that, viewers will have a better chance to see prominences, which appear bright pink curls or loops coming off the sun. The eclipse should be visible from Mexico to Canada. The path of totality, the area where people will see a total solar eclipse, is wider than in 2017, as the moon is closer to the Earth due to where it is in its orbit, meaning more people will see the sun's corona. NASA even noted that with luck, they may even see a coronal mass ejected during the eclipse. The eclipse, of course, is not dangerous to people on Earth. In fact, all the moon is doing is briefly protecting us from the UVA rays, like a giant rocky parasol. So why have there been so many warnings this year about the eclipse, as well as asking people to stock up on fuel, food, and water? Various emergency officials have warned that schools should close and residents should stock up on supplies for pets as well. Simply put, it is due to the expected increase in tourists associated with the eclipse, piling pressure onto local transportation and emergency services, which are not designed to cope with such an influx. Advice is to stock up beforehand to reduce the number of cars on the road around eclipse day. What we could have in crowds here that we're not used to, Dave Freeman, Loran County EMA Director, explained in a statement seen by USA Today, while urging local residents to stock up on supplies. We're not set up infrastructure-wise for that. We don't have the roads. A lot of the roads here are 2 lanes, Freeman added. This is not Chicago. This is not Cleveland. We are a bunch of 4-lane, 6-lane roads coming into traffic and are pretty extreme. We get crowds more than we expect. So maybe this guy is, it doesn't show where he's from, but he might be close to one of these Nineveh, Ohio. Those places, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little different, but I mean, this stuff is interesting. And if I'm available and I have the opportunity, I may go outside. I won't look at it because, I'm pretty partial to my eyesight. But, hey, it's going to be interesting. I might look out there and go out there and see what's going on. But would I travel to Nineveh, Ohio, to be in a town named Nineveh during the total eclipse? No, I wouldn't do it. Who has time to do that junk? Don't let people off. People say, hey, you know what? Boss man, I want to travel to Nineveh, Ohio during the solar eclipse because I'm thinking God's going to step down, on earth on that day. You look at the dude and go, no, you can't have off. Get back to work. Right? Just get back to work. Stop worrying about that stuff. If the world's going to end, do I want to know it? No. Surprise me. I don't like surprises. But will I even know it? Now, if the dead rise and walk the earth before, God returns, then Maybe I'd want to know about that. Maybe I'd want to know about that. If I could find a tree. I don't know if corpses can climb trees. Maybe they're a lot like bears. I don't know. But I want to take some precautions. If that's going to happen, let me know. If it's just going to be gone in the blink of an eye, then why? Why worry about it? It'll happen before you even know it. And then you know, it'll be heaven or hell for you, whichever one. So where I looked, that was the reasoning behind. Now, why are we closing our schools in this area? I don't know. It said the press release that they had that I saw, get out of here, was to help the safety and ensure the safety of the kids. And why? I don't know. It's only going to last a few minutes. It's only going to last a few minutes. So you can't come in and say, hey, you little hoodlums, curtain squirrel monkeys, get in here, sit down, just, we're going to watch TV for 5 minutes and turn out the lights. Why? I mean, what's the big deal? It's not going to last for 24 hours. It's not like the kids are going to have to walk home, in total darkness and blindfolded or anything. I just don't get the part where it says, "Oh, we're going to be doing this for the safety of your kids," and we don't want to take responsibility for them looking at the sun and blinding themselves. We want them to be at home to do that. I don't know. I just don't know. But that is the rationale. Ugh, that is the rationale that is out there for school closures that I know about. Is it's just supposed to be for the safety of the kids, and I don't get it. I just don't get it. So let's close some of these, because I am experiencing higher than average rainfall here on my internet resources. Close this up. Close that up. Let me close this guy up. Unless, ooh, it's darkness. Oh no, I'm having a total eclipse of the sun. It's complete blackness now. Okay. I don't know. What? Golly, dude. Come on, man. Take me to Google search. Let's see. Why are schools closing for the eclipse? Some districts like Sullivan County schools. See results closer to you. Not now. Shut up. Like Sullivan County schools cited safety as a reason why they decided to close or dismiss early. The eclipse will begin around the time that schools normally dismiss. School officials also want to give students a chance to view the eclipse with their families. Attendance is another factor. Let's see what WJHL has to say about this whole situation. Which schools will be dismissing early or be closed April 8th? Screen is still dark. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I was busy reading. Here we go. There we go. You're in on the important stuff. Thank you, Cleo. Several school districts in northeast Tennessee and southwest Virginia will dismiss early or be closed on Monday, April 8th, due to the solar eclipse. Oh my gosh. Do we want to listen to this guy? What's this guy's name? Let's listen. I guess we're going to listen to nothing. All right, then go away. Go away. Uh-oh. He locked it up. He locked it up. Get rid of that AARP stuff. Let's reload the page. Ooh, who's this guy? Get rid of that. I hate the internet. Wait. Alright. In preparation for this eclipse, we went back and looked at attendance and early withdrawals during the 2017 eclipse and concluded that an overwhelming number of our families at that time wanted to experience, oh my gosh, can you just freaking sit still? Can you not just freaking sit still? They wanted to experience the event with their children. Therefore, we made the decision to dismiss early prior to the start of the eclipse. The early dismissal will allow our families the opportunity to share the experience together and, most importantly, dismiss our students prior to the start of the eclipse. Bristol, Tennessee elementary schools will dismiss at 12:30. Tennessee Middle and Tennessee High School will dismiss at 11:45. Buses will run. See, and this is what I don't understand about these school systems. A lot of them, either they don't realize or they don't care that, when you dismiss school early, that just blows a parent's afternoon, work, everything, dentist appointments, doctor appointments, everything just totally out of the window. It just blows it out of the water because, you're not expecting your kid to be home at 11:30, 12:30. No, but just because we would like for our kids to experience this at home with their family. And their family saying, no, please, keep those brats in school so I can continue to work, earn money, or sip, mint juleps because the kids drive me crazy if they're home. So, keep them at school. Don't let them go. Make them just sit on the bus in the dark and wait the 2 stupid minutes, right? Wait the 2 minutes. Forget about it. Just say, close your eyes. Let's take quiet time for 2 minutes and just kumbaya. Just, oh, oh. And it'll be over. Just open your eyes and just like, was there an eclipse? Did I miss it? Is it time to go home yet? I just don't get it. But anyway, the eclipse is, if I say it's not going to be the end of the world, and then the end of the world happens, will you hold it against me? Would you? Would you hold it against me? Would you put my feet to the fire and said, you told me it wouldn't be the end of the world and it is. I'm scared. It's not going to be the end of the world. April 8th is going to come, it's going to go. Nothing's going to happen. But I am going to take precautions as I go to work. I'm going to take some extra food. Extra food is good. Got an idea for another show sometime, maybe next couple of weeks. What's that? Clell's saying something and Robert says Mitsubishi. Then he says no sir. Ta-da! Robert. What? I'm having trouble with Robert. Very cool stuff. People just take advantage of weaker minds. Ooh, yep. Mitsubishi. Chemtrails. Oh, it's not a conspiracy if it's true. Chemtrails conspiracy theory. The federal government is conducting geoengineering experiments by intentionally dispersing chemicals into the atmosphere. The Earth will be fine. Humans may not so much. So I have heard stories about chemtrails. And maybe we can talk about chemtrails. You laugh. I do laugh. I laugh at you. So we can talk about chemtrails if you want to. Maybe you can come on and give me your opinion on chemtrails. I know what they're really doing. I know what really happens in chemtrails. Maybe you don't. So we can talk about it. You can call in and we can talk about chemtrails. And if you don't know what we're talking about, chemtrails, it is when you look in the sky and the jets are flying through the upper atmosphere and they leave those white puffy cloud lines as they go through the atmosphere, and then they get bigger and wider as it starts to disperse. Those are called chemtrails. And if you're interested in why they're called chemtrails, look it up. Because if we go and have a show on chemtrails, I don't want to give it away. But anyway, we'll talk about chemtrails. And he even has a tinfoil hat. Well, that's not going to protect you from chemtrails. What you have to have is a tinfoil umbrella. Maybe a tinfoil beach umbrella, big enough to get up under. And what was I saying before the chemtrails? That the world's not going to come to end April 8th? So, plan a cookout. Get you the special glasses. Get you a bottle of wine. Serenade your significant other in the dark for like 3.5 minutes, 2 minutes. It can't hurt, right? And if the world ends at that point in time, at least you've had a good meal and some wine. So there you go. All right? Relax. Take it easy. What is it? I don't remember what it is. There's that thing, relax and something on. I can't remember. Anyway, if you made it this far, you're a brave, brave soul. You got 2 brave souls here. Clell, Robert, thanks for showing up. Anybody that's watching it after it's live, when it's a video or a podcast, then thank you. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought about the show or other shows. Give me ideas for future shows. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on so you'll get a notification. I'm up to 127 subscribers. Thank you very much. And podcasts, apparently, right now it's Google for podcasters. You can hear them, and on Amazon Music. But the Google podcasters is going to go away, and it's going to go to YouTube Music. So in the future, sometime, I can't remember exactly when, in the next couple of months, there won't be any Google for podcasters. It's going to be YouTube Music. So I got to figure out how to take those, make them go over to YouTube Music, and just start putting them there. All right. So anyway, thanks for everybody coming and subscribing. And I'm going to stop streaming in 5, 4, 3,